The birth and education of Moses. Exodus chapters 1 through 2. Israel and his family, 70 people counting Joseph, lived in Egypt during the famine. Over the years, Joseph and all his brothers died. New generations of children grew up, became strong, and filled the land. After 400 years, there were enough Israelites to make a nation. A new Pharaoh ruled Egypt who did not know Joseph. This Pharaoh saw the growing number of Israelites. He was afraid they might join an enemy and fight against him. So he set taskmasters over the Israelites and made them work hard. But the harder they worked, the more children they had. So Pharaoh ordered the Hebrew midwives, Shiphrah and Puah, to kill all the boy babies as soon as they were born. Shiphrah and Puah feared God, so they did not obey Pharaoh. When Pharaoh saw all the boy babies alive, he called the midwives and asked why. They said, "The Hebrew women are so strong. They give birth before we get to them." God knew the midwives were obeying him and not Pharaoh, so God blessed them with families of their own. Then Pharaoh commanded his people to throw any Hebrew baby boy into the Nile River to drown. At this time, Amram and Jochebed, both descendants of Levi, had a baby boy. The baby's brother Aaron was 3 years old, so was safe. So was his older sister Miriam, but baby Moses was to be put into the river. Jochebed, his mother, hid Moses for 3 months. When she could hide him no longer, she made a small chest out of papyrus reeds and covered it with tar and pitch. Then she put her baby inside, closed the lid, and placed the chest into the reeds at the bank of the Nile River. His sister, Miriam, stood afar off to see what happened. The daughter of Pharaoh came down to the river to bathe. She saw the chest and sent her maid to bring it to her. When it was opened, the baby cried. Pharaoh's daughter felt sorry for the baby, saying, "This is one of the Hebrew children." Then Miriam came closer and asked, "Shall I go and call one of the Hebrew women to nurse the baby?" Pharaoh's daughter said to her, "Go ahead." So Miriam went back and called Jochebed. Pharaoh's daughter paid Jochebed to care for Moses as he was growing up. Jochebed taught Moses to put his faith in God and heaven. The child grew, and Jochebed brought him to Pharaoh's daughter, who adopted him as her own son. She named him Moses, saying, "Because I drew him out of the water." Moses studied all the wisdom of the Egyptians and was mighty in words and works. When he was 40, Moses went out to see the Israelites. He found one of them being beaten by an Egyptian taskmaster. He defended the Israelite and killed the Egyptian. He thought his people would realize that God was sending him to help them. But the next day, when he tried to stop a quarrel between 2 Hebrew men, one of them asked, "Who made you a ruler and judge over us? Are you going to kill me as you killed the Egyptian?" Pharaoh heard what had happened and sought to kill Moses. But Moses fled into the land of Midian. There Moses sat down by a well. Now Jethro, the priest of Midian, had 7 daughters. When they came to water their father's flocks, the other shepherds drove them away. But Moses stood up and helped them. When the daughters came home, their father said, "Why have you returned home so soon?" The girls replied, "An Egyptian helped us." "Why did you leave him behind? Bring him home." So Moses was invited to live with the priest and his family. Moses married Zipporah, one of Jethro's daughters. They had a son called Gershom, for Moses said, "I have been a traveler in a foreign land."